It's Christina from Card Making Magic. These are what I'm going to make today, and these have come about because somebody's asked me, how would you make a flower from just a plain circle? Because I do realise that many of you don't have the dies and the punches that are very easy to get hold of in the UK. So you'll need a piece of paper that's the colour that you want to make your flower, and just an old piece of green that you can make your leaves from. Now on your coloured one, you're just going to draw a big circle, but you're going to spiral it in as you come round. And on the green one, you're just going to draw some leaf shapes. Doesn't have to be anything spectacular. Just draw yourself some leaf shapes. And then once you've done that, you're going to cut all those out. So I'm just going to cut the leaves out. I'm not even following the lines properly. Just cut them out so that you have a shape. And then with the spiral one, you're going to start at the outer edge and you're going to cut around your line. And again, it doesn't have to be anything fancy, just cut around all that line and follow it in towards the middle. And as far as cutting out circles goes, this is pretty rough. Now once you've done that, you're going to leave that little pad in the centre like that and just chop it off at the end. So now you have this spiral shape. Now with your blending tool and some distress inks, and I'm just going directly from the pad, I'm just going to go around the outer edge of the spiral and just add some ink. That will just give a little bit of definition to the end of the petals. And then once I've done that, I'm going to take some scissors and I'm just going to feather in all along that outer edge. Now I'm only cutting halfway down. If you cut right the way down, it'll all fall off. So just go all around the edge. Doesn't have to be anything special. And just feather all the edges. So once you've inked and feathered up the edges, you just need to break down the fibres in this paper, and this is a 160 GSM paper. So I'm just going to break up the fibres and it's going to curl the flower, and it really doesn't matter which side you do it on, so don't worry about curling them the right way, just do it any way you want. You're just breaking down the fibres, that's all. And then once you've done that, you're going to start at this outer edge and you're going to curl the flower in, but you're curling it with the colour inside. So just start to curl, and you're not curling it tightly, just curl it quite loosely till you get to this centre pad. So once you've curled your flower up, on this central pad you're just going to add some glue, any glue you've got, heat gun, wet glue, glue dot, and you're just going to push your flower down onto that and hold it for a little while until your glue has set. Once your glue has set, you're going to start spreading out all your little petals and you're going to press them all outwards. And that will create for you a little flower that you can now add to your cards. This is one that I've made in blue because it goes with the card that I'm making. But once you've got your flower all curled, just take some wet glue, and this is Cosmic Shimmer Dry's Clear, and I'm just going to dab around the edges of the petals, not all of them, just a few. And if you wanted to, you could add a pearl to the centre of the flower, but I'm just going to put some glue in there, and then I'm going to sprinkle it with some glitter. And then there we'll have, once that glue's dried, there we'll have a very pretty flower to add to the card. But it needs some leaves. Now once you've cut your leaves out, if you were just to stick that behind the flower, it wouldn't look very interesting. So let's just keep the right side towards you and fold it in half, and then we're going to put some little creases along each side of it, which will look like veins, and it doesn't matter if it gets all scruffy. Now once you use your distress inks and your blending tool on that, it will pick up those creases and they will look like the veins in a leaf. So I have all my leaves ready there, and I have my flower. Now I'm just going to attach one of these leaves. I'm just going to tuck it into the flower. So to make sure it sits nice and properly, I'm just going to curve the bottom off that petal, and then that will tuck in there with a little bit of glue and stick to the flower. So to make the card, I've used two papers that match together, and I've added them to a blue base layer, and that will go on a white card, but not yet, because I'm going to add in some double layer of ribbon, some blue and some white, to cover the join in that paper, and that will be glued in place around there, and then the workings will hide on the back on the base. Now I'm also going to use just a cheap paper doily, and you get lots of these in a pack. And to make it match my card, I'm taking my distress inks and a blending tool, and I'm just going to go around the edge of the doily just to add in some colour. So once you've inked the edge of your doily and your sentiment, I'm just going to take some of the wet glue, and I'm going to decant some onto a non-porous surface, and then from there I'm going to use my finger, and I'm just going to dab some of the glue along the edge of the doily, and then I'm going to add it to some glitter, and that will just pick up the edge of the doily and give it a little effect around the end. And there's one that I've done earlier, and I've done exactly the same to the sentiment. Now the doily is going to be added to the card, and the sentiment is on foam pads and will sit in the middle. Now once this has all been glued in place, so I've added the bow and put a pearl in the centre with the workings behind the card, this can all now be added to the base. And that'll give a nice neat finish to your card. So to create the bow, you're just going to make a loop in the ribbon and hold it with your finger and thumb. Take the ribbon around the back and cross it over the front, and then in that loop place your other fingers and thumbs on your other hand. Through the back push your ribbon, and you now have loops on either side. So if you pop your fingers in there and hold the rest of your thumbs in there and hold the rest of the ribbon in your fingers, you can now pull, and you can pull and adjust till you get the ribbon exactly how you want it to look. Now to get the fish loops on the end of the ribbon, fold it in half, and with the join on one side and the open ends on the other, you're going to, from the open ends, you're going to cut up the ribbon, and that will then give you the V in the ribbon that makes it look really pretty. So now I'm going to add in the flower. So you're going to pop your flower down in the position that you want it, and I'm just adding some wet glue on the bottom of the flower. Press it into place. Now all these leaves are going to be added in, but I'm only gluing the bottom part to the leaf, and that will just sit along the border of the card. And I'm just going to add them in and tuck them under each other so that they give an effect of trailing along the card. So I'm going to add in the rest of the leaves, and I'll come back to you when I've done it. So there we have the card, but that centre looks a little bit bare to me. So I'm just going to add in a little yellow daisy that matches the yellow centres to the flowers, and I'm just going to glue it in place in the middle of this flower. So there you have a very simple card, very easy to make flower, and there's not really a lot of embellishment on there. A little bit of glue, a little bit of ribbon, some coloured paper and some green paper.